how was it working with Ananya? We've heard that she was your Hello, this is
Hello.
Vihaan. He's winning hearts as Agastya from Call Me Bae and will soon be back on your screens with Control along with Ananya Panday. He was loved for his role as the sensitive Harsh in Mismatched, and now he's become the craze online. Let's get straight to the man himself, Vihaan Samat. Welcome to Money Control, Vihaan. I'm Sarika Sharma, the editor of Money Control, editor
Thank
entertainment.
thank you for that
How have you been doing?
introduction. I really appreciate it.
Hi. 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 Vihan, so, how has been life post Call Me Bae, I would say? Just that, just one line.
Good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying that people are watching the show. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm enjoying that they recognize me and they appreciate
yeah.
what I've done. बस यही है, मजे.
And, अभी एकदम से साइमल्टेनियसली आपका दूसरा शो भी आने वाला सो हाउ इज इट कंट्रोल इज गोइंग टू बी कमिंग एंड यू बीन लव्ड एंड हेटेड बोथ इन कॉल मी बे आई वुड से
Yeah.
इनिशियली इट वाज hate but it translated into love a little later so how is it?
How's the love and hate?
Yeah.
Good. I'm
Both.
having more love than hate. And if you hate
Hmm.
me, that means maybe you appreciate my acting, which is, I guess,
Yeah.
love into it. So I think full love. Full love is enjoying. If you hate me, I'm sorry. I
Huh.
apologize. माफी
Hmm.
मांगता हूँ मैं. And if you love me, thank you.
Huh. So, you've given us Agastya, you're going to give us Joe also, and you gave us a sensitive Harsh in Mismatch. So, how are you able to perform these three shades differently? Like,
I mean, I think each role that an actor does demands a different part of themselves. So
hmm,
they all exist within me, and I choose to
hmm,
live in a certain way. Like I might in my life, I think maybe I choose live to live more like Harsh than Agastya or something most of the time. So, but when the demand of a script is such, you just take out that part of you and you amplify it 100 times or whatever, and you live in that zone, or you take on certain characteristics that you see in people around you, and you live there. So it's just acting. I can go into depth about character study,
yeah.
languages,
Hmm.
blocking the conversations with my director, points of view. But it is a process for each one, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. But these
I
are all these. Sorry.
no, 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 no.
But these
Just keep.
all are things that exist within a person.
Yeah. And do you have any similarities with Aggie? Anything?
No, I think I enjoy really good clothes. I think that is one. I think if I had a chopper, I would talk about it.
Yeah.
I would like Aggie talks about his chopper. I would talk about my chopper a lot if I had a chopper. I would give my wife a yacht if I could afford it.
Yeah.
I would prioritize a meeting with Elon Musk if I could. Yeah. But unfortunately, the wealth is not the same.
Yeah, but you loved to hate him. I mean, he was sweet. I mean, towards the end, I also watched the show at one go, but I really liked him. I thought that he could turn into, I mean, he could easily have turned into a negative character, which he didn't.
Yeah, I
So
think that was
that
the
was the growth
discussion.
of the character also. Do
Yeah,
you
I think that
agree?
was the early discussion I had with Colin where I said if this is just oh, if this is a one-tone thing of like he's just
Hmm.
a bad husband, then it's no fun. There needs to be
Hmm.
some gray there. There needs to be some push and pull. And there needs to be a legit tone decision for Bella on who she really wants. Does she want Aggie? Does she want
Yeah.
me? Has to be a legitimate the thing that she can't decide.
Hmm.
Otherwise, it's not fun. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
like typical 90s wala ki ye बुरा आदमी है, ये सही आदमी है. But then
बिल्कुल.
it's no fun for anyone. For the actor, for
Hmm.
the director, for the audience.
And how's your journey from start? If we would say you were a truly Mumbai guy, born in Kolkata, you've said, but then you shifted to Mumbai very soon. And then how's it been? I mean, how's your early journey been before you actually got on to the acting?
When I was very young, I realized I want to be an actor, and then I was constantly thinking about it in school. I was involved in theater stuff and I wanted to seek more information. And I used to go to Prithvi to see plays. And then I decided to go abroad to study. And then when I
Mm-hmm.
went abroad, I learned method acting deeper from the
Mm-hmm.
source itself, from the studio itself, where it started.
Mm-hmm.
And it became a journey of self-discovery on not only what is this profession, but who I am and how I fit within this art, what I need to do and enhance and bring to this. So it's been a long journey. It's not been I know I've started working recently, but I think my goal and intention has been there for at least 10 to 10 to 15 years.
10 to 15 years.
Yeah,
That's a
where I've
long
said कि
time.
मुझे actor बनना है.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after graduating only I started auditioning. So I graduated in 2018. Then I started
Mm.
auditioning. I did my first role in a film in the US called Worth with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Came back
Mm.
to India. I started auditioning here. Mismatched was my first show,
Your first.
2020. So that way, maybe I've been working for 4 or 5 years, and the process is continuing. And my career is still very young, and I know there's a long
Yeah.
way to go. But I feel like my journey started very early.
So, do you think that if you had connections here in Mumbai, would it have been easier to sail through, to get through, or then also auditions would have been a part and parcel of your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think connections in life make stuff easier. It makes it kind of like fast track certain stuff because you get access to people quicker and
Yeah, you're right.
um. But I don't know if at the end of the day, I think like even if you're connected, if you can't do the work that is required of you, it's not going to make a difference, right? If you're not
Bilkul.
good, nobody's going to take you.
Hmm.
Maybe you'll
Hmm.
get one film, two films, and after that, like everyone's going to be like, this is we can't touch him with a 10-foot pole. So I think craft is number one. If craft is there, then yeah, it might take longer to get that film that you really want, but that film will come because you
Hmm.
can't ignore craft. You can ignore
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah. So are you now it's the world of social media. Do you also face trolling? I mean, is there harsh trolling or there are good comments also? Is it a mix of everything? Or because we've heard from a lot of people that there's trolling and it gets onto you as well. So how do you see
I
to it?
think mostly I have like 90%, 95% good comments only.
Mm-hmm.
Some I get some random comments. It's just random stuff, fake accounts, all that stuff. You learn to ignore it. Yeah, it's don't give it attention. Don't give it power.
Mm-hmm.
So don't let it affect you. Um, I think the funniest was when I started uh, when I started working. There were not too many, but it was like ye kaun hai? Like in the first interview video ever of me or something. Ye
Acha.
kaun hai? And
हाँ,
that's what I'm also thinking. Like who kaun hai?
हाँ,
He's never heard of him before. Vihaan.
हाँ.
Then it's also like then you realize that then you go through a cycle because sometimes you're in, let's say, in a trailer, right?
Mm.
And nobody mentions you.
Yeah.
Then you're thinking, why is nobody mentioning me? Then you want people to
हाँ,
mention you. But then when
right.
people mention you, you get the good comments and the bad comments. Then are you ready to take both? So now I'm quite happy taking both.
How is it working with Ananya? We've heard that she was your schoolmate. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not sure about classmate or not, but yeah, schoolmate.
Yeah,
So how
school
is it
school
working
class.
with her?
Great. I mean, it was uh, we shot Control first, and then we shot Call Me Bae.
Mm.
Uh,
Oh, okay. That's a
so
revelation. Yeah.
yeah, so I think it was nice because we got to do a whole film together, and then we went on Call Me Bae. There was a larger cast, and we had lesser days together, and it was very over a long
अच्छा.
period of time. So one day, then 1 week gap, one day, then 1 week gap. It
हाँ,
was a bit disjointed that way. So I'm glad we had that inbuilt connection. She's very fun, yeah. She's very fun to be around, and she's very like she keeps it light, and she likes to. She's laser focused in her work, and then she likes to keep it light.
अच्छा.
And,
Mm.
she has her tribe, and she has her friends, and
Yeah.
she's a very good fun.
So was it like a friendly thing or an out and out professional days of work? Like since you've said that you worked in Control first and then on Call Me Bay. So how
She's
was
friendly.
it?
She's friendly. I mean, she makes the effort to be friends with you so that you can be
Hmm.
professional on set. You need to do that
Hmm.
so that you can just do your job on set.
Break the ice, basically.
Yeah.
And after the success of Call Me Bae, people are saying that let's have the season two as well. And so, how is Agastya going to shape up in Call Me Bae two if we have it?
No, I wish I could tell you, but anything I tell you will be fake because I've not read the script. So I'm just going to give you fake information. I'll say something. There will be four more marriages, and there will be seven wedding rings, and there'll be two choppers and five yachts.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
sure.
true. Yeah,
अब ना I can't tell you. I mean कुछ है ही नहीं. मैंने पढ़ा ही नहीं.
लेकिन बेला नहीं आने वाली है घर पे कि
अरे
नहीं?
नहीं बेला आएगी.
बेला
आएगी
आएगी
आएगी.
बिकॉज यू प्रपोज टू हर.
लेके आऊंगा मैं
बेला
बेला.
को आना पड़ेगा. दिल
हाँ
वाले
हाँ.
दुल्हनिया लेके आएंगे.
राइट. कैसे नहीं आएगी? बीवी आ जाएगी.
How was it working and interacting with Kejo? Karan Johar has always guided many actors in the industry, and you got to work in your initial stage of your career. So how was it? How's
Yeah,
it been?
I think Dharma takes care of his actors very, very well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
that's because I think maybe Karan sir would, like it to be that way, and he's trying to carry on
Mm-hmm.
his father's legacy. I've had a couple of conversations with him. He's been
Mm-hmm.
very, very kind, very, very gracious. He always, before the show was out, he always used to stop to tell me how good I was in the show, which was
Oh,
really
how
meant a lot
sweet.
coming from him. And then he was just very inclusive, very kind, and it's not like I hung out with him for like an hour or two. It was
Mm.
very brief conversations, but from whatever he has a thing of making every person feel special.
Mm-hmm.
Because he gives them time and attention, which is a very simple thing, but it's
Oh.
very hard to do. So I think he's a fantastic human being in that way.
And we've heard, in fact, on TV actors also, if you've known that, they say that nowadays casting directors always look at your Instagram profile, कितने followers हैं, कितने comments आते हैं, क्या post करता है, is what matters, is what when you called for an audition. So do you think followers isn't it a fake thing, or do you go with it?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, maybe I don't know because if I didn't get cast, then I wouldn't know why I didn't get cast. But for me, I don't know if my followers have made a difference in my casting.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, it's been my audition and my
Mm-hmm.
past work. So directors might see my audition and then they might see what I've done before and see कि चलिए इसको ले लेते हैं. I've thankfully not have to use my followers when it comes to casting in films and TV. Now,
Mm-hmm.
ads maybe, Instagram reel collaborations maybe, uh, उसमें शायद numbers की बात होती है. Thankfully not in stuff that's about like cinema related. And I don't want to also necessarily work in stuff where they're like, following के ऊपर हम cast करेंगे.
Mm.
Because then you're ignoring everything that the person has to offer in terms of his
Yeah.
craft and his audition, which means the
Mm.
priority of that show is different. The priority of that project is different. And I
Mm.
don't know if I align with that priority as an artist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. It's there. उनको करने दो जो भी करना है.
Mm.
सही गलत नहीं है. It's just that what is are we aligned on what is important?
Mm. And have you ever faced rejection एकदम last minute you've been finalized and rejected कि भाई नहीं किसी और को cast कर लिया, and do you think that nepotism does affect a newcomer or any outsider? I would say you would also consider yourself an outsider, though you've also done your fair share of struggle, and you're still in the process of making it in the
Yeah,
industry.
I mean, so these are two separate questions. Number one,
Yeah.
I think I have been not too many times, but there's been a couple of times. There's been a lot
Mm.
of times I've been close. There's been
Okay.
maybe a handful of times that I've been finalized and it's not worked out for
Mm.
various reasons. I don't think because I've been replaced, but
Mm-hmm.
because the project itself has not worked out. Like I remember I met this lovely director
Mm-hmm.
uh, in the South, and he worked with some very, very big stars.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in casting organized the meeting, and I went and met him, and we had a huge conversation. He said, "Look, I'm doing this film, and this film was with two other very big actors." And I would
Okay.
heard.
Mm-hmm.
He said कि मैं ये film कर रहा हूँ और ये story है. I've seen this, I've seen that, I've seen your interview. I would like to take you and
Mm.
to sit and narrate and all that. So I
Mm.
was very happy. I said yeah. Then we continued talking. I met him the next week. Next week, then we kept discussing. He said, check out this, do research on that, grow your beard out, do that. मैंने बोला हाँ ठीक है मैं कर लूँगा मैं कर लूँगा. I was also keeping on hold another project that they wanted.
Hmm.
I was like, मुझे देखना है कि
Oh,
ये होगा कि नहीं. So I was also on that. Thankfully, that
hmm.
project worked out and I ended up doing it.
Okay. Hmm.
And then we did a reading also with this big star who was going to be in the project,
Hmm.
and they were very lovely.
Hmm.
Uh, तो मुझे लग रहा था कि अभी होने वाला है, अभी 1-2 महीने में शूट शुरू होने वाली है.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was all set. And then suddenly he went radio silent.
Oh.
He had said कि कल आ जाना ट्रायल्स के लिए.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
said ठीक है. Then the trials got cancelled. I said okay, when do I come? Radio silence.
Oh.
Silence for a week, 2 weeks, message no response, 3 weeks, called no response, called again. He said, yeah, I'm figuring something, I'll call you back. That call back never came.
Oh.
And then we reached out to casting, and basically, apparently, there's some issue with dates of this or whatever. But and that I'm not taking that personally. I'm not taking that personally. It's not the
Hmm.
director's control either about what happens to
Yeah.
dates and production and weather and what and funding. Funding is the most important.
बिल्कुल. Hmm.
But it does happen where you invest an amount of time in something and the thing never materializes. And you have to just admit this is the a part of the business where you have invested your time and energy into working on something and building something, and that is never going to happen. And it's okay. It's a part of us. You learn how to judge better also. You learn how to at what point to invest yourself fully. You learn these things, and it's okay. And I don't blame him because
Hmm.
circumstances beyond his control have happened.
Yeah. Right.
There's also been times where I've come to the final two for a film or a very big role or
Hmm.
something.
Hmm.
In the US, here, everywhere. It's come to final two, final three, final four, and I've not gotten it. That's
Oh.
okay because then you think it's not that I'm not good enough. It's that I
Yeah.
was so good that I got here out of 1,000 people. But it
Yeah.
came back to circumstances that are not in my control. Like
Hmm.
what the channel wants. So like what what your beard looks like or so whatever, some stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can argue that if your performance is good enough that all this stuff wouldn't matter, but
Hmm.
priorities of other people are also different. And tell assume that the performance wasn't good enough. Then you can
Hmm.
take solace in the fact that yes, it was 99% there and 1% not there, and then I'm gonna push for that 1% because it's always growing. So it depends on your perspective, I think.
And on the nepotism.
Yes, oh, sorry, what about the nepotism? I forgot.
No, I'm just asking that nepotism is become a big debate now, and outsiders feel that like recently we'd heard Aishwarya also talk about once in an interview she'd spoken about how Alia had easier access. I'm not just talking about Alia; I'm just talking about any other kid star would
Right.
have access better than an outsider.
Right.
Outsider can be anyone. So
Yeah, I
what
think
is
I
it?
think privilege is access. You have access, which makes stuff quicker, I think. So it exists, but at the end of the day, like if your work is not good, people will not take you on a name. Um, and you cannot build a name if your work isn't good because people
Hmm.
will watch you. So even if you get a film, let's say
Hmm.
like you get a favor, someone makes a film with you.
Hmm.
If nobody watches it,
Yeah.
you won't get any other film.
Hmm.
If anyone's getting filmed right now, because they've proven themselves that
Hmm.
they're good enough to be taken, regardless of their last name.
Hmm.
So I think, see, nepotism can help you up to a certain extent in terms of like getting access, but the way your career shapes up and the longevity you have
Hmm.
and the kind of work you do, I mean, that's just on you and your
Yeah.
hard you work.
Yeah, right. And you spoke about South film also. Do you now also believe that you want to work into South? You want to go South, and the South films have different audience, I would say. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some lovely work happening in
mhm.
Malayalam cinema and Tamil cinema.
Yeah, Malayalam, right?
Uh, and I'm not necessarily too experienced or knowledgeable in exactly what's going on and the history of the cinema
Yeah, right.
through a
Hmm.
hundred years. I'll admit,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean I'm not open to the opportunity that might provide me.
yeah,
And there's
right.
some fantastic films coming out like Jallikattu and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And I think there is a different lens and there's a different approach towards filmmaking, which we can learn a lot from. So I'm definitely open
Hmm.
to. Am I? actively trying and reaching out to those directors now, right now, not necessarily. Uh,
Hmm.
but I don't see why I won't.
So, tell us about something about your character in Control, Joe. It has somewhat similar shades of Agastya. I mean, not the Amir wala part, but वैसे, if you see it. And what is it exactly that pulled you towards Joe?
I mean, for me, it was very simple. Vikramante Motwane is making a film.
Yeah,
I want to do
right.
it. It doesn't
Mm.
matter what he's making. If he sees me in it, I will fit because it's
Yeah,
Vikramante Motwane. He thinks in
yeah,
his he wouldn't take anyone. He'll take someone for release.
yeah.
I got an audition request. I gave the audition my all.
Acha,
I was on set and I took out time and I like prepared it properly and I did it over Zoom.
acha.
And it's really funny because the audition was over Zoom for a show that is completely taking place over technology, so it was very fitting.
Yeah,
But me and I did the audition for like an hour or something, and we kept doing and kept
acha,
doing until we thought it was proper, and thankfully he liked it. Um, Joe, for me, I learned more about the character once I met Vikram. Once I knew I
acha.
was doing the film. Then I read the script and I was like, oh my God, this is what you're making. Before I was like, क्या इनको influencers के बारे में film बनानी है? Like, is he okay? Like, is his career like what is happening? Like, and then I read the script and I was like, oh my God, he wants to make something really out there. Not really,
Yeah,
but like very challenging and very
uh,
like nerve-wracking. And I was like, I'm in. I read the script and my role was smaller when I read the script than what it is right now.
acha.
It was like
Uh,
it was maybe half of what it
it
is now.
looks intriguing, yeah. It looks
My role was
intriguing, I
half
must
if on
say.
the script level, and then we he changed the script and tweaked it, and we did workshops, and he wanted to increase certain things. Thankfully,
Hmm.
but I was in. I was in only. I was like, आप मुझे 5 लाइन भी दे दो मैं कर लूंगा. So obviously he saw me as his lead, and I also was like, yes, मुझे lead करना है. But yeah, I was in. I was in from the start, and I was very happy. And I was happy that it's come out this way. I've seen the film. It's fantastic. I'm happy that this film is coming out in a couple of days, and people are seeing it.
Hmm. Vihaan, with the advent of OTT, do you believe that it's become easier for actors? I mean, any kind of actor, and we're going to see, we're able to see good acting on screen. I
Yeah,
mean, do
see,
you
I
believe
think there's
that?
become a sort of um, there's become a, I don't want to say democratization. There's more opportunities right now when to
Hmm.
create content
Hmm.
from different voices.
Hmm.
There can be money allocated at a
Hmm.
smaller budget to a smaller project, but the story will be told.
Yeah.
ये नहीं है कि हमें फिल्म बनानी है और बॉक्स ऑफिस में कमाना है और 20 करोड़ की बनानी है 40 करोड़ कमाना है like it depends from project to project. You can say like we have a Hira Mandi which is like so lavish and we have
Hmm.
a smaller show as well. Like compared
Hmm.
to Hira Mandi, I believe Mismatch was made at a much smaller scale by a
Much
budget.
smaller, huh?
So you can have these two on the same platform. And more importantly, what happens is you can sanction projects from different voices. Like you can have a mismatched, you can have a Call Me Bae, you can have a control, and then you can also have uh, um a Sector 36.
बिल्कुल.
And the similar people are sanctioning these things. And these you have new voices, new directors coming in. So it's easier. So there's more work happening for sure. But then it's
Hmm.
also easier for actors to find specificity because we will find a project that we really identify with and relate with, which might not happen before. Like in the 80s and 90s, maybe it was hero heroine.
Hmm.
That's
बिल्कुल,
too
हाँ.
hero या villain hai. Now it's
हाँ.
like, what kind of cop am I playing? What kind of Gen Z person am I playing?
Hmm.
We're entering these specific discussions. Is he from Bombay? Is he from Bangalore? Is he from Delhi? It was like very general. So I could find a script like Eternally Confused and Eager for Love that is being greenlit, that is
Hmm.
being made by a director who lived in the same area as I did, went to the same college I did, just 4 years
Oh.
older. Wrote writing a script that I really relate to about anxiety that is being greenlit in lockdown. by Netflix, an international company, for us to make. This stuff can happen. Before, how were we supposed to launch a film and put it in the box office and tell the story about an urban guy who speaks in English with anxiety? How are we going to tell that story? It wouldn't be made. It's being made now. So that's the opportunities that have come in.
Yeah, it's really right, because your kids are now staying away from you, so they also want to see such kind of content, like a black and white character you believe